On the airlines, let's bring in Savanthi Syth. She's Managing Director and Airlines Analyst at Raymond James. Savanthi, thank you for joining us. So you just heard Leslie sort of give us the update here and saying it's not as big of a deal perhaps for American or even Delta. What about the rest of the airlines that you cover as this plane continues to be delayed to its reintroduction?
Actually, I mean, I think it has been a notable impact for American. Obviously, the biggest impact has been on Southwest, which has the largest MAX fleet. And that was planned for. If you look at the U.S. as a whole, the MAX was supposed to be about 1.5 points of capacity in the summer, but by the winter it was supposed to be 4% of the capacity. So you are, getting impacted, and clearly the ones that have seen a negative impact have been Southwest, American, and United, who are supposed to have those aircraft, and the beneficiaries have been like Delta and JetBlue that have been able to pick up some of that capacity, and the industry probably in general saw a benefit from higher prices, especially during the summer.
When are you expecting the MAX to be back in service, and in terms of your model for say, an American Airlines? And has the impact that it's been out of service declined as each month has passed?
Actually, it's probably from a impact on the airlines that were going to fly it. The impact's bigger, but it's more of a lost opportunity than a bigger lost opportunity than anything else. And from a capacity and a fare environment for the domestic industry, I would think it is a bit bigger impact on pricing for consumers, because those are capacity that would have otherwise been there, more trips for passengers. So the longer this goes, the bigger the impact. But it's a little hard to disaggregate. And so I mean, I think that, the sooner that it comes back, the better it is again for the operators. And we're right now modeling around mid-January for the aircraft to come back. But clearly, the longer the longer it takes to recertify the aircraft, the risk is higher. And it takes airlines about 2 months to bring that aircraft back after it's recertified. So we need to get the recertification by mid-November, late November, for the aircraft to come back in January.
And you've got to convince passengers like me to get on one of those 737 MAX airplanes. I'm not real excited about that, I have to admit, even with the recertifications. But more broadly, American Airlines shares are up about 3% today, the company giving us some updated guidance. But more broadly, they've been suffering, down about 16% for the quarter. What's your expectation for the airline in the near to medium term?
Yeah, they've been hurt by a few kind of exogenous events like the MAX. They've had some issues with the mechanics that have hurt customer perception. Hopefully those things can reverse themselves and improve things. On the revenue front, American's actually showing some really good performance. It's really, kind of where the investor concern is really on their balance sheet side, I think, more than anything else. Because there is concern that we're heading into a downturn, and American has amongst the highest leverage around the group. And so that is causing a lot of investor concern. But as long as we don't go into a recession, there's going to be some nice free cash flow pickup at American. So there could be a nice setup here. But in the near term, that's what's weighing on investor sentiment.
And Savanthi, what are you looking for in Delta tomorrow?
Yeah, so Delta's, already given a preview of what their third quarter looks like. So really the focus will be on a go-forward basis. They have indicated to investors that the fourth quarter unit costs are going to be high for a myriad of reasons, and most of it is not continuing on. So I think the biggest focus for investors will be what they're seeing on the revenue environment. If so far airlines are seeing really strong demand, and all the headlines that you had about trade, macro, and even in the industrial sector, the weakness hasn't really come through from a demand perspective. So I think that all eyes will be on commentary on how corporate demand is holding and just how leisure demand is holding. But so far, it seems to be pretty good.
Savanthi, thanks so much for joining us.